Alright guys, here we are. We're doing another pod review. Today's going to be on this pepper right here. And this pepper is called the BBG7 MAMP. Alright, welcome back everybody, and we are going to do a pod review today on the pepper right back there. And so I've done pod reviews on Mojo peppers before, and I've done, the last time I did a pod review on one of his peppers was the MAMP something, BBG7 MAMP, which stands for Mojo Addicted Mad Pepper or something like that. So that's what I did a review on, but that was a orange version of one of his peppers. I have a black version right here, and this black version wasn't intentionally bought. It's just one of the variants that came out of it. So there it is. So we got a black variant. Now I do see one other website selling seed for the black variant like that. So there are maybe one or two websites actually offering this variety. I think they're calling it Black Beauty. I think that's what they're calling it, BBG7 MAMP Black Beauty. I think that's what they're calling it. I guess I'll call it the same thing. I don't necessarily want to start naming all kinds of names, but I believe that's what it is. So let's take a closer look. As you can see, the pods come out, as you can see up here. As you can see, these pods come out pitch black. Calyxes are black, and the calyxes on these peppers are really, really long. They hang like halfway down the pepper, and then the pepper just kind of grows out of it. It's a really strange kind of a thing, but maybe I'll pick one of the black ones for you too. I'm going to pick one of the ripe ones. I'm going to pick a couple of these ripe ones because they're ready to come off. You've seen it live. So anyway, here's a better look at it. Unfortunately, I had to break the whole plant in half in order for me to get the pods off. I don't have a scissor on hand, and I'm shooting video. I can't go running around looking for scissors, even though there's, I think, a pair right there. Who cares? I got the pods off it. These are all basically getting ready to ripen anyway. Just sit them out on my table, and they'll pretty much be ripened. But this is what it looks like. Here's a better look at the pods. And I'm going to end up having to cut this down anyway, because this thing got like 4 feet tall, and the top half of it just put these flowers out, and that was pretty much the end of it. It just put out those flowers, and it didn't put out any more flowers after that. It just stopped. It did that kind of last year, except last year any flowers that did come off it dropped, and there was no fruit. So this is the first time I ever seen this plant fruit, and this plant's like, I don't know, either 2 or 3 years old. I've had this plant for a while. In fact, you can see over here, you see all this stem? This is how many times I keep trimming this thing back and bringing it in. I finally got it to fruit. So it wasn't an easy variety to fruit, but as you can see, these pods absolutely don't want to come off the stem. I literally had to snap the stem to get it off. Here's a good look at the stems. You can see that it's like the Pimenta da Neyde, or I think the scorpion tongue. The Pimenta da Neyde is the one that a lot of breeders use to get this black stem, because the Pimenta da Neyde, as far as I'm concerned, is really the only pepper that actually produced that black stem color. So there it is. Let's pick one of these. I guess we'll pick a ripe one. I can't get. I have to break the whole plant to get the fruit off the stem. I had never seen anything so wicked. Look at that, guys. That is absolutely wicked. You can see the calyx turns red. But these calyxes, just so you know, I've got a black one here. You can see here's a black one here. And these calyxes are black, pitch black. And when they first come out in the sun, they come out with this calyx is really long. It seems like they recede a little bit, but when they first come out, they're very long. It's like half the pod is covered with this calyx. It's really strange looking. You can't even see the end of the calyx. It doesn't even look like it has a calyx. And then as time goes on, it seems like the calyx recedes back a little bit, And you could start to see a definitive line on the calyx. But when it first comes out and it's created, you don't even see the calyx. It's just a stem that goes right into the pod. It's just a really, really strange looking thing. So, unfortunately, there's one there. Unfortunately, I had to break the plant. I didn't really want to do that, but that's all right. It's getting close to the end of the year now, and basically, most of these plants, when they come in, I'm going to end up having to prune these down to like half, you know. So anyway, this is the pod. And again, this is one of Mojo's pods. So these pods are known to get a lot of really strange variations in color on it, as well as the the striping and the spots they get. And his pods are known for that. But it's really hard to get that effect. Nobody really quite knows exactly what he did to get that effect. So nobody really knows. But nonetheless, they do kind of do it, even in like the way I'm growing it now. They kind of do it, but not quite as intense as what he had. It still looks cool. Look at that. That really looks cool. It's a very nice effect on the aesthetics of this pepper. So anyway, let's turn you around and give that a go. Black Beauty. There's not really a definitive name on it, but it's a variant that came out of one of Mojo's peppers, and that pepper was the BBG7 MAMP, which was originally, I believe, supposed to be red. I think originally. Mine came out orange, and I ended up with now a black one. So now we have the BBG7 MAMP black. And I'm not the only one who ended up with the black version. There's one or two websites I've seen out there selling this pepper under the name, I think, Black Beauty or something like that. If you type in BBG7 MAMP, you'll see all the listing for all the MAMP varieties that are out there. And this is one of them. So it's a variant that came off. But I'm going to isolate this strain and continue to grow it. And hopefully we can perpetuate this particular strain, because it is a really strange kind of pepper, and it looks really cool when it first comes out because it is pitch black. And then you can see, sorry about that, you can see like where the calyx, it gets like a real strange look to the calyx when it splits. Almost looks like when you part your hair, like on the Flintstones. It's almost like that. It gets like a split on it. And they split, and it's just, they eventually get red. And sometimes the red kind of protrudes up into the stem. And then the black kind of fades out a little bit, but it kind of holds on to the black a little. It's a really cool looking pepper. You can see the pattern on them. Very, very cool pattern. But, yeah, I'm just a little excited to have that, because I like all of the little variants that came out of his peppers. I mean, I bought a lot of his varieties, and it's like so many. Like, I'd buy one variety and I'd end up with like 6 in the end. Like, as long as you keep separating them, you end up with like 6 in the end, and it's like all these different variants that came out of his peppers, and they're really cool variants. I mean, Mojo really had a good knack, should I say, for crossing peppers. He just had a good knack for it. He did it right, man. And he got a lot of strange stuff out of it. A lot of times you cross peppers over, and your crosses tend to look like, it looks like another cayenne, or it looks like another like this, or looks like another something like that. There's nothing exciting about them, you know. They're just like, it's just maybe a little bit fatter of a cayenne, maybe a little cayenne. Nothing special. You get a lot of these that come out of these crosses when you make them. But his peppers, when he crossed them, he really crossed some good species and some good, some good varieties, and really came up with some really good stuff. And like I said, this is one of them. Okay, so without any further ado, let's give it a go. There's a gas in it. It's pretty good. It's got a nice flavor. It's very similar to the BBG7 MAMP orange one that I got. Texture-wise, it's pretty much the same thing. And the heat on these, for some reason, I'm not getting like an extraordinary heat. Let it build. Let it build. It is getting hot, but it's nothing extraordinary. Nothing for me to be like, wow, you know, the heat is something on here. But it's a very nice tasting pepper. And the texture of it's very nice. It chewed up pretty nice. The heat's coming in now. But I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't had the heat on any of these peppers get extraordinarily hot. They're not as hot as, like I say, a 7-pot would be. Or a 7-pot bubblegum. They're not quite that hot. What I will say is every now and again you will get one of these that they really do fire you up good. This one's pretty good. I'm going to take another bite. Try to really tap into that flavor. And then we could go over the heat. But sorry about that. I got to get a new camera. I'm going to get a one of those little GoPro cameras that shoot in 4K with 60 frames. I'm going to get one of those with a little selfie stick, because holding this big thing up with one hand, my shoulder hurts by the end of the year. It bothers me a lot. So let me take another bite. It has more of a habanero-ish type of flavor, or almost like fatali. Almost has like a fatali type flavor. Very light though. More of that, maybe partly habanero. More than 7-pot, but there is a 7-pot flavor in it. So I do taste that a little. Oh, that second piece is starting to light me up a little. There's definitely something like that in there, but the flavor is very dynamic and unique. Kind of comes and goes. It does hang around the back of your tongue a little bit. But it's a nice, smooth flavor. There's nothing funky about it. No bitterness, no this, no that. It's a very nice, smooth type flavor. As far as the flavor goes, it's nothing spectacular-wise. It's a pretty common flavor. The heat is really, I'm going to be honest with you, not that much more than, say, a mid-range habanero. I'll probably maybe put this at 90 to 100,000, maybe. I mean, it's heating up my tongue. We'll talk about the heat a little. It's really got me swallowing on. I am salivating quite a bit. It's really heating up all around the edge of my tongue, a little bit on the top of the tongue, a little bit in the back of the throat. My lips are heating up more than anything. And that's really it. It's just, it's a very mild, calm type burn. It's not like an intense, aggressive type of throbbing burn. Nothing like that at all. It's very nice, mild, and calm. It comes in, you can feel the intensity of it, but it's not like it's killer. Now, if I go up to the top of the pepper, it might get a lot hotter, which I'll take another bite off the top. This one looks like it might have a bug hole in it. It makes your saliva really get gooey. That's what I don't like that with any pepper, but that's what happens when you eat hot pepper. I'll take a bite up off the top. It's really not bad. I'm going to be honest with you. It's pretty easy on you. I just bit it up at the top by the seeds. Again, it's up at the top was a little tangy. It got a little tangy towards that placenta. I don't like that tanginess. But maybe I bit part of the calyx, maybe. I don't know. But it's not that bad. I'm going to say best case scenario, 90 to 100,000. This is about the heat of a habanero, if you ask me. Like I said, mid-range habanero, maybe the low end of a habanero. It's nothing spectacular. Now, can I say that for every single one of his peppers? No. Because there is some variations in it. I've had some of those orange versions like this really roast you good. Where I was eating them before, like, oh, these are easy. I could actually eat these in the garden without, worrying about, overcooking myself. And I hit one that was really, really hot. That really got me. I was scrambling for tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff. So I didn't expect that. This is very similar. It seems like it has the same kind of a heat on it. And it's really, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's a nice pepper. It's definitely worth the grow. It's very aesthetically pleasing. So you could use that as a conversation piece, but don't get your hopes up like, oh, there's going to be some kind of killer heat. It's not much more than the heat of a habanero. At least this one was pretty mild. For me, I like that. I don't have a problem. What I do like is it kind of had a fatale taste to it, and it kind of was mild, but it's not upsetting my stomach at all. I just swallowed this whole thing. It's not upsetting me. I didn't get hiccups or anything from it, so it's nice. It's a nice pepper. Now, what about this pepper that I would say is unique? You know, what stands out about this particular variety of pepper? The black calyx on it and the whole black pepper. This thing is really freaky. I mean, I have other pictures. They're starting. The sun's receding. The sun is receding back, so the calyxes are starting to get green. You're starting to see a little more green on it. So the sun is starting to recede. But when it was bright and sunny out and this thing was in there, the thing was pitch black, guys. I got pictures of it. I'll show you some images. Maybe I'll include them here. But yeah, it's good pepper. If I get enough seeds off of that, I'll offer it at the end of the year. And you'll be able to see a link in the description below. It should bring you right over to the page. And whatever information I could find on it, I'll put on the description of this video. And I'll also put it on my website. Keep in mind, if you're doing research and you want to know more about this particular pepper or Mojo peppers or whatever, and you're looking at the description of this video, always go to the website and look there, because I do all my updating over there, and I don't always update the videos. I just don't have time to go back and do all of that. But always check the website. You should find your latest details there. All right. So that the link should be in the description below. That's it. That was your pod review for the BBG7 MAMP Black or Black Beauty. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.